Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing well out there, waking up, feeling fantastic, glorious, blessed. I know it's Monday, but we're going to have a great day today, guys. So, here to give you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for your Monday. The big topic will be the lake effect snow that's cranking up this morning. We'll get you some detailed information on that again. We got very detailed on all this on last night's video, and it was definitely one of my longest videos ever, if not the longest video I've ever did. It was over 50 minutes long, and we didn't just talk about the lake effect snow, but we talked about the pattern coming up potentially into December, the cold air that's going to take over the eastern U.S. over the next couple of days. So check that out if you want some details about what potentially could happen on down the road as we get into December. Now, it's not a forecast, it's just some things that we're seeing. So I'm sure things will change, as we get a little bit closer to the early to middle portion of next month. So we will continue to fine tune those details for you folks in the coming videos, that's for sure. But here to talk about the weather for today, we'll focus in on that and let you guys get on your way. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I want to say thank y'all for, a pretty good month of November. It's kind of been the same as October as far as how busy it's been. It hasn't been very, very busy at all. November might beat October out by just a smidge. But thank you for the people who continue to regularly tune in. I have noticed an uptick in the videos over the last several days. So welcome to any new people. We do a video every single day, sometimes twice a day. And it's really a family type atmosphere on this channel, more of a personal feel. And I'm really obviously just speaking to the folks who are new to the channel, but you'll find that out more as we go. But anyways, thank y'all for the support. It means the world for making this part of your life. It's wild to think that people take time to listen to me out of their daily lives. So I'm really blessed. So thank y'all for that. If you guys got anything I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. And I'll get to the comments from this video and last night's video as we get later into this afternoon once I get caught up from work. So this is what's going on right now. We're just going to look at the radar because the water vapor loop isn't showing what's going on very well at all. A lot of cold air has moved into the U.S., right into this area. Basically everywhere west of the Appalachian Mountains is pretty cold this morning, but as we get into tomorrow, tonight into tomorrow morning, and then the next couple mornings, the cold air will really take over the eastern U.S., where we will have our coldest mornings of the season so far in the southeast and other areas of the country also. But we're dealing with some lake effect snow this morning. We were expecting this, no surprise at all. We kind of mentioned that we could, that we had the potential to wake up to some flurry action in Kentucky. I'm not seeing much of that as far as this radar. But, sometimes you got really shallow moisture that doesn't show up on the radar. So not seeing much, unfortunately, for the snow lovers in Kentucky. But we'll see if anything gets going later this afternoon as that northwest flow energy kind of wraps in behind this cold front. But the lake effect snow machine is really kicking up off Erie. It's beginning to crank up off Lake Ontario, but the cold air has to catch up. But this will turn to all snow here in the coming hours. It's snowing, and the typical areas favored off the eastern side of Lake Michigan, and then we got a couple bands setting up off Lake Superior in the UP of Michigan, and then the last bit of our system's heading on out. You guys will have to let me know what y'all saw overnight in Vermont and New Hampshire. I have a feeling that it definitely verified closer to the professionals, the National Weather Service. It was just very interesting seeing. We talked about this last night, what the HRRR model was showing, but it's snowing pretty heavily, heavy wet snow up here in northern Maine. So you guys let me know what y'all saw overnight. I would love to know. But the rest of the country, guys, pretty quiet. Maybe some flurry action in South Dakota, a little bit of moisture in the southwest, but it's a pretty quiet morning for the most part, for just in general for the entire country. So moving forward, the Storm Prediction Center, this is the interesting thing for today. Okay, there's no severe weather expected first. I want to say that right off the dot here. But you see these areas in green right here, and right here. This is off Lake Superior, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. This is for the chance of thunder snow. Okay, you're going to have this banding coming off these Great Lakes, these huge bodies of water. You got a lot of cold air on top of the surface of these warmer bodies of water. And when I say warm, I'm not talking about 70, 80 degree bodies of water, but it's warm compared to the actual air temperature above the water. So the difference between temperatures causes convection. And that's why we get these lake effect snow streamers, lake effect snow bands. And these there'll be enough lift in the atmosphere, enough just storm energy, basically, for some of these to produce some lightning and thunder. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it here in the coming hours by the time some of the folks watch this video. So there is a chance for some thunder snow in these bandings that's set up. So we'll see if this verifies. I think it will. I think it will later on today. A chance for flash flooding below 5%. So it's not even showing up on this map. So we don't have to deal with any flooding risk really today. Watches and warnings. I'm going to show you two different graphics from this. This is freeze watches up for the low country of South Carolina and areas of southeast Georgia. So I think we're going to get our first freeze of the year if we haven't seen it down here. We got some wind advisories, really windy conditions, and very cold day in the southern and central Appalachian Mountains. And then we have high wind warnings and wind advisories up here for the coastal regions of Maine. Winter weather advisories on top of them, where it's still snowing very heavily. These will probably expire here in the next several hours. And then you got winter weather advisories into the northwest corner of PA, a couple counties in northeast Ohio. But one thing it's not showing up is north of these counties with those winter weather advisories, there's lake effect snow warnings. We'll talk about that here in a second. But winter weather advisories have actually been, looks like they've been dropped. Well, I actually don't think they were ever up for areas of Michigan, but northern Michigan, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings up for several counties in the UP. But you know, you look a little bit closer to this area right into here, okay? You see this green? That's lake effect snow warnings. So you're going to get dumped on as far as snow. A lot of snow is going to fall in these areas. And even in Cleveland, there's a lake effect snow warning. Expected snowfall totals for Cleveland has actually increased a little bit. So confidence has increased for more snow for you folks, especially just east of the city. So moving forward, let's talk about the southeast first. And it's going to be a pretty quiet day across the southeast for your Monday. Not a whole lot of weather to speak of. So if you're traveling back home from Thanksgiving holiday, you know, today will be a good day to do it in the southeast. We get into this afternoon, nothing. I mean, there's not even really any moisture in the Florida. There's definitely going to be some snow showers to get kicked up in West Virginia later on this afternoon to this evening. Little backside energy behind this cold front. This is going to lead to some snow. It's going to probably put down a dusting too in northern sections of West Virginia. But the rest of the southeast, I would not be surprised. We get some shallow moisture overnight, maybe in the form of some flurries in Kentucky. We'll watch. It's very possible. Waking up tomorrow morning, it's going to be a chilly morning, and then the stage will really get set for a frigid morning, cold morning for southeast standards for our Wednesday morning. But Tuesday morning will be rather cold across the deep south and the mid-south for late November standards. But as far as moisture, nothing really going on in the southeast today. A little bit of a different story up here in the northeast. This system will clear out. Just heavy rain for the southern sections of Maine, heavy snow for the northern sections of Maine, and this will clear out by lunchtime, and we'll be done with this. Cold air will wrap in behind this. What I want you to notice is Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, lake effect snow bands just wisping away out here. One big band will set up, and it will kind of get its act together. It'll take a while for it to stop wiggling around off Lake Ontario right in this region between kind of Syracuse and Watertown will be a jackpot region. What is that called? The Tug Hill region? I think that's what some people are saying. But this, if there's going to be one Great Lake that's going to produce the most snow for one area, it's going to be right here at the eastern end of Lake Ontario. I think this will be the jackpot region of this entire lake effect snow event. I think it'll even beat out Lake Erie in my opinion. But we get into this afternoon. Lake effect snow affecting areas from northeast Ohio, extreme northwest Pennsylvania, Erie, and all the way into this section right here of New York State that's always favored for lake effect snow from Lake Erie south of Buffalo. I don't think this is going to be a big event for Buffalo, a couple inches possible. But, southern sections of Ontario is going to get blasted from Lake Huron. You're going to get banding all day today. And then this band really sets up off Lake Ontario later this afternoon and just really blasts the same areas for an extended period of time. What I want you to notice, though, you're going to get snow showers on and off today in the southern tier of New York, too, the Finger Lakes region. These are going to make it all the way to Binghamton, maybe the Catskills, the Poconos, potentially. And what I want you to notice down here, too, is some snow showers do get going here in central to eastern areas of Ohio, even away from Lake Erie. This could put a dusting of snow on the ground this evening. Certainly some snow showers flying around in West Virginia later on today into tonight. But, I mean, you continue to get into late tonight to the after midnight, and this band shifts south. So Erie might get a break overnight, and this really starts hitting Cleveland pretty hard. I think later tonight, Cleveland, that's when you start to pick up a lot of snow. But, I mean, check it out. You got some snow showers making it all the way into southern New England. You notice this is some vigorous energy if you got snow making it from the Great Lakes all the way into southern New England, which happens every once in a while. But you're waking up Tuesday morning, and guys, I think we're going to be waking up to at least some flurries, some snow showers, maybe some burst of snow. You know, as far southeast as the Delmarva region, New York City, I think some snow flurries could be flying around for your Tuesday morning. And, yeah, you continue to get it into tomorrow afternoon, and just kind of giving you a teaser for tomorrow afternoon. Look at all this snow shower activity, okay, for the I-95 corridor, or up into southern New England, up into the coastal regions of Maine. A lot of snow shower activity. Dare I say Washington, D.C., Baltimore can get some flurries tomorrow. Confidence is increasing for some snow showers, especially in the New York City area, New Jersey, this entire region right here, okay? But let's just speak on what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. All right, a couple inches of snow in the higher elevations of Maryland, West Virginia, and the hills of right here of southwest Pennsylvania. But this is the big band that's going to set up right here. Erie, just between now and the next 24 hours, going for 9 to 11 inches of snow probably. Cleveland, I think you'll start to get accumulating snow overnight. But just south of Buffalo to Erie, this section right here, overnight, well, today into the overnight hours. And of course, this is still going on as we get into tomorrow, but anywhere from 6 to 10, maybe 12 inches of snow. But like I said, you know, the Finger Lakes region can get a dusting to a couple inches of snow off this also. Okay, just with some of these bands just kind of wisping their way into this region. So we'll see what happens with that. A little bit closer look at the National Weather Service out of Cleveland. And I know this is bang right here in your screen, but this is a great graphic. You know, for you locals in the Cleveland area and all the way to Erie, it kind of gives you a great timeline. You know, certainly stop the video if you need to right here. And it shows how much snow could fall in just individual time frames between now and Wednesday afternoon. And then it shows the total. So, you know, Cleveland going for 8 to 12 inches of snow now. Erie, 12 to 18. Medville, 8 to 12. But, you know, there's some wide ranges, right? Some areas, I mean, less than a half an inch. Youngstown just going from 1 to 2 down here. I think my face is in the way. But there's going to be some periods where you're going to get half a foot of snow in, like, you know, a 6-hour period. Okay? And but if you look at Cleveland, it happens overnight tonight. Not much snow today, but there's going to be a period in Cleveland where, I mean, you could get 6 to 12 inches of snow. 6 to 8 inches of snow is possible. You know, sometime between after midnight tonight into tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of snow could fall very quickly. So we'll see what happens with that, but it's a great graphic, and we have another graphic from the National Weather Service out of Buffalo. A little bit harder to see on your screen, but you know, breaks this down for you folks. Lake effect snow warning showing up for these green counties right in here, but this is just between now and 7 a.m. Wednesday. It's still snowing in some of these areas, but you know, south of town, south of Buffalo, you don't have to drive very far, an hour. You drive an hour south of Buffalo. You guys know how it is down here. You know, you start to see foot snowfall totals, but there's the area right here off Ontario. I know this is pretty hard to see on your screen, but this is, you know, the National Weather Service forecast for these regions. So a lot of snow is going to fall, and, you know, you see that area up here off Lake Ontario. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm always fascinated in these lake effect snow regions, that's for sure. But speaking on the south central, guys, beautiful day, not a whole lot, maybe some flurries kind of drift into northwest areas of Missouri a little bit later this afternoon. But as far as moisture, guys, a chilly day and no moisture to speak on. It's a quiet day. Enjoy it. There's not going to be many quiet days, I don't think, this winter. I kind of mentioned that right at the end of last night's video. I think we're going to have a lot more storm systems to come. And people who are begging for the rain, and rightfully so, will be wishing that it will stop by winter's end. I really do think so. So the north central U.S., and we'll speak on this lake effect snow event off Erie in Michigan. And here it goes. I mean, just lasting throughout the morning. Here it goes throughout the afternoon, the overnight hours, and then kind of the directional pull from this will shift more so out the north to the south. And this is when the bands can be very, very heavy right here when it kind of shifts in place. Kind of the orientation of this trough basically shifts, which means the flow around the trough more so comes in from the backside, which is north to south. But man, there could be some hefty bands into southern Ontario. I know I don't cover this area of southern Ontario much, but some big bands of snow. Not sure how much they are calling for this region, but coming off Lake Huron, man, big bands of snow. But as we're getting into tomorrow, into the middle of the night tonight into tomorrow morning, an area of light, maybe at times moderate snow, could make its way through northern and really more so north east areas of North Dakota. You guys could get maybe an inch of snow off this. It's very possible. But a closer look at this snowfall event, starting off this morning, the bands will really intensify throughout the day. I don't think this is going to be a big event for Lake Michigan. You get into northern sections of Michigan, the northern sections of lower Michigan, Traverse City, these sections up here could get a few inches of snow. Now, you got winter storm criteria snow up here, which means you're going to get a lot of snow if it warrants a winter storm warning. And, you folks up here are going to get a good bit of snow, especially the western UP of Michigan, and then kind of the central to more so eastern UP of Michigan. There'll be kind of a gap between in this area right here. You won't pick up as much, but we get into this afternoon, you see the bands just rocking its way through, and this looks like a mean band of snow right here making its way through areas of the eastern UP. And this looks like this could produce some thunder snow right here, so we'll see what happens. But it kind of shifts. Some of these bands could make its way into northern Indiana, which happens. Could get some light snow even as far southeast as northwest Ohio. Waking up tomorrow morning, and these bands are still rocking and rolling out here. But snowfall between now and just the next 24 hours. I mean, you're definitely going to get some snow down here where you don't have winter weather advisories. And I mean, somebody could get half a foot of snow, but it's really, and this is just between now and Tuesday afternoon actually, but it's really like in the northern sections of lower Michigan to get anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of snow in this little section right here. And then as you can tell, the eastern UP going for 8 to 12 widespread inches of snow. Not quite as much for the western UP, but still, I mean, there's going to be areas that get 6 to 10. Maybe somebody will get a foot of snow still in this region right here too. And here's a graphic for this region. Marquette, 2 to 3 inches. Munising, I think is how you pronounce it, 6 to 8 inches. Newberry, 6 to 8 inches. Houghton, 2 to 3 inches. Copper Harbor, 2 inches. So not a lot for these regions. Ironwood and especially this little area just east of Ironwood could get 4 to 6, maybe 6 to 8 inches of snow. Gaylord going for 4 to 6 inches. So this, we've seen much more substantial events than this. But certainly there's a little, discussion right here. Not a whole lot. Very cold for sure. But yeah, definitely set up for a snowy period coming up over the next 24 to 48 hours. The western U.S., there's not a whole lot to speak on. Okay, we get into this evening. Get into tomorrow morning, and it looks like there's a system starting to sneak up on the west coast. But it's been pretty quiet out west. It seems like we were mentioning it a lot for a few weeks in November, but it's been pretty quiet over the last several days, and it's going to be quiet today also. Temperatures, it's going to be a chilly day, guys. It's going to feel like late November, early December for sure. There'll be a pocket of cooler air where there's snow on the ground in Kansas, where temperatures will struggle to get out to 30s, but you'll definitely get a lot of snow melt today as temperatures rise well above freezing. But I mean, even cold all the way down into the panhandle of Florida, guys. I mean, just highs in the 50s in Tallahassee, 40s and 50s in Atlanta. Same thing with Birmingham. I don't think anybody's going to get into the 50s in Tennessee, 30s and 40s in Kentucky. The Ohio Valley, just 20s and 30s. The Great Lakes region, just 20s and teens. The Northeast, I mean, you got one last quote-unquote warm day before the colder air moves in tomorrow. So, if you consider highs in the mid 40s warm, then, get out and enjoy it today before the cold front really moves through and really brings some chilly air for the Northeast. But, I mean, there's not really anybody that's warm today unless you get into central and southern Florida. You're locked into those tundra type conditions that you see in the winter typically in the upper Midwest. And it's cold out west too, guys. I mean, it's definitely below average. Now you're starting to warm up. It's not that bad. But I mean, my buddy here in Las Vegas, you're certainly looking like highs in the 50s, maybe around 60 degrees. And so it's chilly. Most of the country is chilly. Now, that's pretty much all I got for today. Like I said, not a whole lot's changed. I don't have much change to mention from what I discussed in last night's video. We need the models to really come together. But I talked a lot on what's to come here, the round off November, which here is in the next 3 days, and to get into the first part of December. And I kind of spoke on how we're going to switch to an above average period temperature wise, and then what happens after that is very interesting to me, and a lot of people also, as we have blocking in Greenland and maybe an active storm track setting up. I think there's going to be an active storm track regardless, but where are these low pressures going to actually track across the country? I think for a while they track across the middle of the country. We call those cutters. But definitely some interesting times coming up in December, or maybe not, but we're going to figure it out for you folks. So have a great Monday. I won't have a video this evening. I'll probably do another one tomorrow evening. But that's all I got. Have a great Monday. Make it great, even though it is Monday. And I'll talk to you folks soon. God bless.